Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Preacher, Viktor. And I overall enjoyed this episode because we got some more movement on kind of the three fronts that we've got at the moment. Namely, Eugene and Hal, Tulip and Viktor, and Jesse and his search for God. So, this episode starts off kind of where it ended, with Tulip giving her gun to the people and being taken away in the SUVs and everything. So then we just kind of see them driving off, and we see Jesse get up to Dennis's place and being let in, kind of told what's going on, that Tulip's not back yet and everything. Cass is still trying to drop a lot of hints and everything, but Jesse's not really picking up on him. So he decides to go take a nap and everything since he's been out all night. It's like, okay. So then we get into seeing Eugene and Hal, and that opens up kind of where we left off, everybody kind of coming out and seeing what's going on. We see this one dude, Tyler, being a right prick to this one other person in Hell, who's like, listen, we just need to do what we're told, otherwise it's going to get even worse. And then, of course, he starts picking on Eugene, of course, because of his face and everything, calling it a sphincter and all that. And Hitler stands up for him and tells him to just knock it off and all that. So, of course, the alarms start blaring, and Eugene's unable to get into his cell, and instead has to go into Hitler's cell. And we see Hitler's worst memory is in Munich in 1919, and he's meeting up Elsa for a date. And, of course, we start kind of seeing that Hitler's not acting like he's been portrayed, at least in this universe. He's kind of a lot more subdued and kind of more going along with stuff, because we see that Elsa is pretty much pushing him about showing his art off to this gallery director dude who's in the same place they are. Of course, she's talking about communists and all that, and they're vermin and need to be wiped out. He's just agreeing with her to kind of shut her up, and also, well, not really to shut her up, but just to get her to stop talking about it. So it's kind of being led that the reason Hitler was going through these things was because of Elsa. Now, granted, we don't get the full effect of his hell because it does short out and everything. And, of course, he's like, all right, Eugene, your door should be unlocked, so I'd recommend getting in there now. So he does. It's like, okay, that's interesting to see. It's kind of a different take on Hitler, and kind of going to be interesting to see how they're able to take him and what use his role is going to be going forward. So, of course, Eugene gets back into his cell, and that's going on, and we see that Tulip is taken to Viktor's residence, and this giant-ass expensive mansion and everything, and, of course, as that's going on, we also see that somebody else is getting tortured in the mansion, getting sprayed with acid while this dude has earphones in and listening to music. So she gets in, she's left there, and then Viktor comes out and pretty much talks to her saying, well, crime's not going to do anything, sorry's not going to do anything, so you're going to have to come up with something better than that, and then just leaves her to walk along and do all kinds of stuff. And he goes in to interrogate the person himself, because the guy with the earphones, Pat, comes in and says that he's conscious again. So they go off to do that. We see Tulip going around the house and pretty much trying to figure out what's going on, but nobody will talk to her. Even the daughter of Viktor spits on her and says that she hopes her dad kills her. It's like, damn, what did she do and what's really going on here? Then we also get back into Cass and Jesse as they're trying to kind of figure out their next moves. We learn that Cassie knows a lot about kind of like secret organizations, but has never heard of the one that Jesse's talking about. And he's like, oh, that sounds kind of made up and everything. And while they're saying that, it cuts to outside, and we see the white van drop off the dude who was working as the bartender in the one place, using a sign, kind of standing outside, kind of keeping an eye on Jesse to a degree. So then, of course, they're trying to figure out their next moves, and we get into it, and they see this infomercial that's talking about Katrina and all that, and they see the person that portrayed God through the heaven phone from the angels last season. And it's funny seeing Cass like, oh, Jesse, come in here. It's like, look, it's him. And they're like, okay. So they find his agent and try to getting more information on it and trying to figure out where he's at. He's like, wait a minute, if he's here, we gotta find him. He'll probably know something about the whole God situation. So they get in there, and of course he says he's not going to sell out his actor and all that. And of course Cass is able to roll on it and say, oh, they're Game of Thrones, and tries to say that they want him for a role and all that. He's like, okay, that's cool. They work out this whole deal thing, and he's like, I don't know where he's at. That Katrina thing was over a year ago. I got the audition tape, which I had to pull teeth for the one thing that he went for. And he's like, okay. He didn't want to give like a copy to him, but Jesse was able to talk him into it. And they watch it, and it's interesting seeing him go through all this stuff and acting as God and being like, and when they get to it, it's like, well, see, this is an open-ended commitment. There's no like ending. It's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And it's like, all right, congratulations, you got the part. And then they kill him, and it's like, whoa. And then you can see that Jesse is really absorbed in this and trying to figure it out, while Cass is trying to get him to figure out more about Tulip and all that. And while this is going on, we see that Tulip is at a safe, and one of the lackey guys is like, hey, we changed the combination of the gun safe. Good luck with that. And she like kicks his ass, takes the gun, and tries to go and kill Viktor. But she kind of leaves it for too long and gets taken down by a group of them, and Viktor says, leave her to me. It's like, oh crap. So we see that Jesse kind of makes some headway, saying that he like saw a hand or something grabbing him or whatnot. It wasn't very clear. It was kind of weird. It's like, I saw something, maybe like a hand or something grabbing him as he's like getting shot or dying, and then Cass comes forward with it and talks about how, listen, Tulip's in trouble, we need to go help her. And I was like, why? I was like, I wasn't supposed to tell you, but it's this Viktor dude and all that, and they're able to figure out her location, and we get to see some pretty cool stuff going on. Because Jesse goes up, rolls up, uses Genesis to get in, uses Genesis to keep the guys playing cards down, and is just kind of like walking around and gets into the place with the dude with the headphones. And of course, he gets knocked on the head, kind of knocked out for a little bit, and starts a really good fight scene. I gotta hand it to the show because fight scenes, you have to keep within the kind of tone and style of the world that you set up. And I really like the strange kind of style, Street Fighter kind of wackiness that this series does. Because they're in a torture room with a dead guy. And they're trading blows with like different kinds of things. Jesse using a fire hose. The one dude using machetes and all that. Chopping off the dead dude's arm at one point. And Jesse using like this riot taser cattle prod thing to try and stun the dude and try and like use a hook to get him. And of course, not working. And then he gets to a point where he uses a foosball. Okay, a foosball kind of like rod with like all the soccer people on it. And like, this is awesome. It's so weird to describe because you're like, what is that thing? Oh yeah, it's like a foosball rod with all the little people on it. And he starts fighting and then stabs the dude through the dead guy with it because he was trying to use a knife at that point. He's like, that's not getting through. And then he uses Genesis to figure out where she's at and goes up. And we see that Viktor is just talking with Tulip. Jesse, of course, is in a frame of mind that he thought at first that Tulip was just mad at him and all that. But this is messing with his girl and pretty much has Viktor in a headlock. And then we get the bombshell that Tulip's like, Jesse, he's my husband. And Jesse's just look is like, oh, this is not going to end well whatsoever. So that's where the episode ended. But we did get kind of last thing with a couple things with Eugene. Because they had him in his cell and they needed to fix up what was going on with his projection thing. So, of course, he's taken with the superintendent, the woman that we've seen so far, and she is like telling him about hell. And it's kind of cool because it doesn't feel really that much exposition-y, even though it is, and just kind of like talking to him about, yeah, you're a newcomer. When this was designed and conceived, it didn't have any idea of how many numbers we were going to have. And so now it's overcrowded and underfunded, and things are breaking down. And it's like, oh, you think we'll put you in general holding? You're all right. You're propped up and everything, and the torture's over. No, that's not how this works. And if you don't act like I want you to act, like, oh yeah, you're kind, loyal, and all that stuff, that's not how we work here now. And we will watch you for this. And of course, this one big dude opens up the hole to show it. And it's like, yeah, you think your bad memories are torture? You ain't got nothing on that. And while she's doing this, her voice at certain points will drop to kind of like a demon, like lower voice, and then come back to kind of normal. So, of course, he goes to the general holding with the rest of the people that we've seen from his cell block. And we've got Hitler in there and Tyler and all that. And they're messing with the one chick as well. And Eugene's asking Hitler, it's like, are you bad? Are you the same dude that did this? And because he's not really been acting like how we think Hitler should act. And of course, the Tyler dude's being an asshole and wants Eugene to say stuff because he thinks it's funny the way he pronounces things. And Hitler stands up to him and is pushed down by Tyler, and everybody starts beating up on him. And then Eugene tells him to stop and wait. He looks over at the camera and starts joining in on it and beating up Hitler. It's like, okay, so what we could get here is that Eugene was this nice boy who had some mistakes and some problems, who might get turned into one hell of an asshole by being in hell. And it's like, yeah, Jesse could rescue him from hell, but is it going to be the same Eugene? And what's he going to have to do to survive? Because we recognize that this is the first turning point of him doing this to survive in hell. What's that going to do and change for his character going on? And how is that going to change if he gets out of hell? And how he's going to react there? Is he going to go after Jesse for putting him in hell? Does he understand that it was a mistake, that he didn't try to do it? That's the kind of cool stuff that I can't wait for them to get to. And one of the last bits that we got at the end of the episode was that the Saint of Killers, now that Jesse has used Genesis, is walking into New Orleans, getting ready to go for him. So it's like, alright, let's see where this is heading. Let's see, having this saint in the mix and everything, and see where that's going to go. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.